I bought a $179 MacBook Air in 2022. Is it any good? All right, welcome back to the channel. So if you've watched my channel before, you know I do a whole bunch of different videos like this. I did 2011s, I just did a 2013 iMac over here that I'm using currently. And this is a 2014 MacBook Air, the 11-inch, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabyte SSD. Now, the reason I do these videos is that I do them kind of separately. So this first video that I'm going to show you on this exact unit here that I picked up online, I got it on eBay from a company called isellimacs. I'm not affiliated with them, but they give great systems because they show you what they exactly look like before you buy them. And so I got this for $179, which is a pretty good deal. There's cheaper versions I'll show you in a second, but this is a grade A, which means it's almost, it's close to flawless. There's a couple little scratches and stuff on it, but being the age, it's actually in really good condition. So, that's the first thing. The second video I'll make, maybe in a week or two, stay tuned or subscribe for that video, is going to be the performance of this. So this isn't going to be performance yet. This is going to be just what did I get for the money, and performance will be next. So if you like these kind of videos, subscribe and you can see that video. It might not be my next one, but it should be coming up soon. So basically, again, 2014 iMac, this is the 11.6 inch here. So let me just show you the order really quickly. If you look at over here, and let me just show you the order. So you can see it up there. I just want to prove $179, and there's some of the basic specs which we'll get into in a second. So I just wanted to go ahead and set the stage for what I got, and then we're going to go through some different things here just to show you, what can you get for this kind of money. All right, so first things first, if you actually go over to my screen, and I'm going to show you here in a second. So if you're over looking at my screen here, you're going to see over here, you can see that there's some systems in here that are going to be cheaper. Now, when you're looking for a 2014, you have to kind of take a step back, and you can say, hey, wait a second, these are a little bit cheaper, but they only have 4 gigs of RAM. You want 8 gigs on a system this old. 8 gigs makes a huge difference. I always say SSDs make a huge difference. This has 128 gig flash. So that's going to be some of the difference makers right there. And we'll get into that in a second, but that's really important here. And then also, you can always pick these things up. A lot of them are scratched, or they're from individual users. Again, I buy them from a company I'm not affiliated with, isellimacs. One day I might be, but not now. And they're basically really good quality because you know what the grade is. And this is a grade A. So again, it's almost flawless. And that's kind of what I wanted to show you. So we'll get into the close-ups of this in a second just to show you how good it is. All right, really quickly, what are the specs on this beast? Not really a beast, but so really quickly, it's a 2014 it's the early 2014 MacBook Air, and you can see over here it's 11.6 inches. Now I have a whole screen. I'm just going to read it down. I have a little sheet here, a cheat sheet, but it's 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs PCIe flash storage. It's got the Intel 5000 graphics. Let's go over here and look. They're not hugely performing. They perform on the benchmark over here if you use Passmark, 567. So it's low end, low-endish, but it does have something at least, even though they're integrated. So that's that. Let me see here. So it's got that. It's got the Intel i5 4260U, and that's basically 1.4 gigahertz. I think it's burstable, or it's got a kind of a burst up to 2.6 gigahertz, 2.7, somewhere in that range. So that's that is. Now this is actually 2.3 pounds right here. And I have a MacBook Air over here that's going to be the M1 version of it, and I'll show you some close-ups of it. But this is slightly smaller and slightly lighter because this is only the 11-inch. You can get the 13-inch. I think this is about 11.6 inch, which we'll show, but this is still smaller. So if you want even a really small thing just to kind of go around and just use for temporary stuff, this is a perfect laptop. Again, the screen's 11.6. It's a TFT LED, and it's 1366 by 768. So again, it's like basically not much better than 720, but the screen is so small, you don't really need it. It actually is a pretty nice screen overall. Finally, it's got a Thunderbolt port, which let's see, I'll show you on one side actually, a Thunderbolt port and a USB 3.0 port over here. I'll show you some close-ups of that. On one side, it's got the audio jack, another USB 3.0, and then the charging port. So it comes with a number of ports, but more than they come with now, that's for sure, but still not a ton. The battery's up to 9 hours, it says, and that's probably not realistic. I get about 5 hours. I have some screenshots I'll show you here. Actually, I don't even know where those screenshots are. I got to get into those screenshots, but they're basically, I took them on my computer earlier, and I'll put them up there really quickly, but I think I only had like 300 or something cycles. I'll put down here because I can't remember what they are, but I'll put them down there. So the battery on this, that's the other thing when you're buying these used systems, is you want to get a low cycle in the 200 to 300 range. If you get up to 1,000 or something, you got to replace the battery. So if you're going to have to replace the battery, it's easy with these systems, but at the end of the day, that's going to cost you another 30 or 40 or 50 bucks. So you got to factor that or take that off the price. So you want to get this for like 150, 140 then. So that's that. The battery though is in perfect condition. I get that 4 or 5 hours, which is probably better than most Windows laptops. And then it says that this was actually about $899 new with the current, well, not actually, it was $899 plus the upgraded RAM, which made it $999. So it was $999 new. So I bought it for $179. So I got it for an 82% discount. Is it worth it? You know, we're going to find out. So that's basically what that's all about. Now let's get into how this actually physically looks. I'm going to show you some close-ups. Actually, before I do that, one thing too is the funny thing is the M1 can only support up to one external monitor. From 2014, this can do 2 monitors. I have it written down somewhere, 2 times 50, 2560 by 1600 on the monitor. So this can actually do 2 external monitors. And from 2014, sorry about the noise, and if I don't break it, and the other one can only do, you know, X amount, which is kind of crazy considering, you know, we're in 2022 now. All right, so really what you want to look for when you're buying a system like this, the reason I spent a little bit more, and again, I showed you those systems that were a little bit less, is I got the 8 gigs of RAM, the upgrade. You want that always, a minimum. The screen is pretty much flawless, I'll show you here. And the screen's beautiful. It doesn't have any scratches really on it, and it's glossy, and it has, you know, it's pretty good. I mean, obviously, if I'm used to a 5K, it's not going to be perfect, but it's good for what it is. And it doesn't have any scratches, and you can't really get the where you get the laminate scratching or like where it starts peeling off. Those are on different versions of the MacBook Pros. The MacBook Airs didn't really have that issue too much, so that's something that's a positive there as well. But to make this a grade A, you can see it's got the front of it's pretty much flawless. There's a couple little teeny scratches here in the corner, and on the back there's a couple little scratches, but you can't see them from a distance. I'll have to show you up close. But I mean, that's basically what it is. And don't forget the beloved, the Apple. It's not lit up now because it's not on, but this thing turns on right here, and it's the little white glow, which is kind of cool. You get that with this as well. So again, very light. Ports on this are pretty clean. I went over the ports. You can see them there, but they're very clean. They're not like really, really chipped up like most of them are. And that's one thing that's really important when you're kind of, you know, buying these systems if you want to resell them later. The screen's really important, but also just look for the RAM and SSD drive and, you know, that kind of stuff, and then you can go ahead and get into this stuff, and it's going to work really well for you. I also open it up, and the keyboard, it looks flawless here. Oh, there's the glow, see it? The keyboard's flawless on this thing because of the cost and because it's a grade A. So is the trackpad. Trackpad looks like it's brand new. Clicking works perfectly. Speakers are perfect on this. Ports, screen. So overall, it is a grade A, and that's what you want to get. You know, spend the extra 30 or 40 bucks and pick like something like this up. All right, and just really quickly, this is upgradable, the 2014. I upgraded it to what I can. It's going to be Big Sur, so you can go up to Big Sur on this. So that's actually a positive, even though you're not going to get the brand newest, but you're still going to be able to get up to Big Sur on this. So overall, it's just a great package because you do get a fairly modern OS. You're not dealing with some of the really old ones like High Sierra and stuff like that. So you don't want to really mess with that unless you know how to upgrade them. These can be upgraded too with special software, but I just don't want to get into that in this video. All right, so the final question is who should really buy something like this? And let me just turn this around. I don't know if you guys can see. You're not going to be able to see how beautiful the screen is from there, but who should really buy something like this? And the question is going to be someone like me who dabbles in it and does videos. That's number one. Or if you really want this thing for browsing video, browsing YouTube videos, or if you wanted to browse the web, or if you just wanted to listen to music or create documents. This thing actually works really good, and you can see it. Everything kind of looks good. It's a nice system, clean, and it doesn't, you know, I don't like using dirty systems, so that's why I buy always the clean systems. But overall, it gives you just a good atmosphere, and you actually have a really small thing you can take with you in a bag, and for $100 and something bucks, you don't really worry about kind of bruising it up if you're going to keep this, if you're going to sell it, try to keep it clean. But other than that, just go ahead and use it the way you need to. It's kind of a beater laptop, I call it. It's probably better than some of the cheap Windows ones out there for sure. And again, you can use it for almost all the basic stuff. In my review, when I do it in a couple, maybe a week or two, or maybe sooner, I'm going to show you if this can do 1080p video editing. We're going to find out. It's really not made for that, but I know it can do a lot of the other stuff because I've used it a few times. I'm going to show you just how responsive it is. It's pretty surprising considering the price and what you're getting, but you know, when you use the M1 MacBook Air, is it the same? No, you're not going to get that same performance. You're going to have to wait an extra second here and there, but we'll show you that. Overall, though, for the cost, is it worth it? And I would say yes, for sure. So again, I bought this from isellimacs. I'm not affiliated with them. One day I'm going to try to, so they can start sending me some stuff because I keep buying stuff from them. But at the end of the day, it's a good system overall. Do I recommend it for most people? Probably not, because unless you know what you're doing, you have to know how to upgrade the OS. So if you're like a beginner, this may not be the best system because you may get frustrated with Mac OS. Maybe better to buy the M1 MacBook over there. But at the end of the day, this is pretty good. And if you know what you're doing, you can upgrade it. And you want a burner laptop, I give you 2 thumbs up on it. Anyways, I want to wrap this up. It's getting a little too long. So let me know what you guys think about these videos. I'm going to have the follow-up. Subscribe if you can about everything, including the, everything that's going on here as far as this is concerned, and how it performs in the future, and video editing and opening websites and looking at YouTube videos and things like that. Just like I always do, they're very kind of similar videos, but I just go through the different product line, and I like to cycle through them so people can see what they're going to buy if they're thinking about this. So again, I don't recommend anything in my channel really. When I do reviews, I don't even do reviews. I just say this is what it is. Make up your own choice. But I like it. If you like to dabble, pick one up. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.